noxious mist, men in black, UFOs, and the plague? That's right, today we're going to be talking about the Black Death, the plagues which swept Europe over 400 years starting in the 1300s. Now, death tolls are to have ranged anywhere from 30 million to the over 100 million range over the span of the epidemic, which was equivalent to over 1/2 of the entire population of Europe. But was it punishment from God that started the whole thing? Or was it something else? Something that we can actually put our fingers on. Something a little less supernatural. During the time of the Black Death, many strange phenomena and enigmas were reported all over the land, including sightings of strange black-robed figures, toxic gas that poisoned the air, and even reports of lights in the sky, or UFOs as we would call them today. Was it possible that some kind of race of beings from another world, perhaps the beings that have controlled mankind for centuries and beyond, had launched a biological attack on the population? Was this another biblical flood-like event meant to punish humanity and lower the population? In the years leading up to and during the beginnings of the outbreak, several large comets were seen over different parts of Europe, including a column of fire appearing over the Pope's palace at Avignon, and other reports of balls of fire in the sky. Now, you could write these off as superstitious nonsense or even a simple celestial phenomenon, but sightings like this were also reported in other parts of the world where similar plague outbreaks occurred. For instance, in Arabia in 1479, a comet was seen that looked like a sharply pointed wooden beam. Eyewitness accounts described the object like a rocket ship, which was illustrated by an artist at that time. And the first reports of the plague came out of the Orient, where confused people had witnessed meteors and comets trailing noxious gases that killed trees and destroyed fertility, which was then followed by fatal sickness. Between the years of 1500 and 1600, over 50 comets, sometimes described as cigar-shaped, were seen in the sky, which were followed by devastating outbreaks of the plague. So what of the mist? The dark-robed figures which were seen so often during these times? Well, it would appear that all the three phenomena were connected. In 1559 in Brandenburg, Germany, there appeared on the outskirts of town 15 horrible men who had little heads, fearful faces, wore black robes, and carried scythes. They were seen in the oat fields swishing their scythes back and forth, where hissing could be heard by the locals. Yet the oats were left standing. Soon after, a severe outbreak of the plague occurred in Brandenburg. So, it begs the question, were they mowing down fields of oats? Or were the scythes they carried actually tools which spread noxious gas? Remember, the oats were left untouched. Reports of these figures were so prominent and similar in their description all over Europe that the popular depiction of death originated from this time, with the skeletal robed figures mowing down humans with long scythes. Wherever these figures were seen, an outbreak would soon follow. But what was the mist? Reports of these deadly mists came from all plague-infested parts of the world, and in fact, the mists were so common in preceding outbreaks that physicians at the time took it for granted that the mists themselves were responsible for the plagues. German accounts speak of a vile-smelling mist which spread from the east and covered all of Italy. All over different parts of the plague-infested world, poisonous mists were reported which literally killed vegetation and people as it passed. People believed it was the toxic mist that was killing people and not a disease. In fact, the mist was so thick it would become part of the air moisture and the morning dew. It was so deadly, people were given this caution. If newly baked bread is placed for the night at the end of a pole and in the morning is found to be mildewed and internally grown green, yellow, and uneatable, and when thrown to fowls or dogs causes them to die from eating it, in a similar manner if fowls drink the morning dew and die in consequence, then the plague poison is near at hand. Note the word, plague poison. If it was a simple bacterial infection, then why would it instantly kill dogs and chickens and create bread to appear rotted and uneatable? In conclusion, this sounds more like a biological weapon than a disease, and to top it all off, Many of these occurrences of toxic mists were associated with sightings of lights in the sky and these strange robed figures. And these phenomena were not only reported during outbreaks of the plague, but also as recently as the cholera outbreak in the 1800s, where British sailors on a ship hit with cholera reported seeing a strange black mist. We can also go all the way back to Sumerian times, where there were similar reports of gods infecting humans with disease through the spread of deadly mists. So what were these mists? Who were these strange robed figures? And were the aerial phenomena sightings during this time actually UFOs? Had the gods decided it was time to punish mankind? Was this similar to the flood myth where the gods became tired of the people's noise and why they were always referred to as gods and not God? As a side, keep in mind this quote from Genesis. "And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever." Key word to focus on here is us. This is in all translations of the Bible. This was said from one God to other gods, or in other words, the race which created humankind. If you keep an open mind, perhaps the answers will come to you. Maybe all of it was superstitious mumbo jumbo because the world, during the outbreaks of the Black Death, must have seemed like it was coming to an end. But the bottom line is, life is definitely stranger than you think. The truth can sometimes be stranger than fiction. So until next time, thank you for watching this episode of Divine Transmission.